Oh my God. Oh, as you can see, I'm back. Oh, it's complicated. Just call me Kay. Oh my goodness. It's been a crazy past couple of months. I mean, oh my goodness. As you probably can tell, I just came back from a run, more like a walk. And honestly, this is the first time that I actually tried to run, or actually, I would say ran, but mostly a walk, since, I would say probably since the last time you heard from me, which probably was in May. Oh my goodness, this has just been a crazy past couple of months. And right now I'm just trying to get back into the flow of things. Right now at this time, it's a little bit after 10:30, and I will try to post this video the day that I recorded it. But just in case I don't post it on the same day I'm recording it, it's today's date, the 18th, July the 18th. Oh my goodness, probably curious about what's been going on. I'm not gonna take very long, make a really long video. I'm just gonna say that I will say illnesses and other stuff. And before I get more into it, I like to say that I'm gonna really talk about spirituality, things of that nature. But I will say, just to get a gist of kind of what's been going on, I would say most of May, I would say beginning of, if I have the timeline correct, first of all, I think I'm going through like some perimenopause type of thing, but another type of health issue, as far as female type of issue, that I'm pretty much in the middle of working on with me and my doctors. Nothing very, very serious, but I might have to have surgery later on this year, or probably early next year. I don't know exactly when. It's just complicated. Just basically just something in that nature. But I will say that not trying to get into too much TMI, but my cycle, everything just been kind of chaotic as far as women type of issues or whatever, if you know, and I'm in my 40s, so but it's I will say, if for the past 3 months, not this month, thank God, but for the past 3 months, it seemed like when I get ready to start my cycle or whatever, each time I have to go to the hospital, because I never really experienced anything like it. I just, horrible cramps. And what else? I'm vomiting, very fatigued. Like right now I'm taking iron pills just to kind of maintain my energy, energy and things. And, have a healthy, basically just preventing anemia and all that. So I kind of go through that. It's kind of regulated itself, my cycles, I would say probably since early last year. It seemed like my cycles were lasting, God, like a month, it seems. But it seems as though it kind of regulated itself now. But it's just, yeah. But the weirdest thing, I would say part of May, if I remember correctly, but mainly June, was I was just going through some type of cold. I'm like, why am I experiencing a cold? Because I rarely have colds. And then on top of that, in the middle of the sun, like this time of climate, I'm like, like close to the summer or whatever, the unofficial summer, I put it that way. I'm like, well, I'm out having a cold, just feeling just miserable, and I'm like, I don't know what was going on, I didn't have COVID. I went to the doctor and got a COVID test, got a, test for the flu and strep throat. I didn't have nothing. It just either cold, and I think it turned into like some type of sinus infection later on. But I'm a lot better. I don't have no cold. I don't have any allergies or anything like that. So, and then even after that, I'm like, okay, it's July now. And I'm like, I would say beginning of July, just been kind of feeling really fatigued, and I'm gonna go into my spirituality now. With all that being said, I would say these past few months, besides even before the illnesses and all that type of stuff, I would say probably beginning early May, I guess, late April, I just been feeling some type of heaviness. If you in a spiritual community and you've been feeling this, I mean, I would love to hear your comments, because I was like, it wasn't like a depression type of thing, like, oh, I'm depressed, and it wasn't nothing like that. It just felt heavy. It's kind of hard to explain. Not really a sadness. It's just like I mentioned earlier, just kind of feeling fatigued. It seemed like it takes extra energy to do things, because normally I'm happy, very optimistic. That's another thing, like with this heaviness, it's like I'm not like really, what's the opposite of, I guess the opposite of optimism, just like I'm still optimistic, but it's like a heaviness to it, I'm like, God, what's going on? And I know that I'm still learning more about astrology and the aligning of the planets. I feel like I'm still like a baby in it, but I just been kind of feeling heaviness. Not heaviness, I mean, nobody had to worry about me. I'm not about to take myself off the planet or anything like that. It's been a weird heaviness. I'm like, dang. I normally, even when I know it's great things that are about to happen in my life, as far as being more optimistic about my business, because right now I'm going through the slow season for my resale business, and then I know that August and forward, going forward from there, it's gonna be on and popping. I'm gonna be really busy. And there's other things that's happening in my life, but it's like this type of heaviness. And on top of that, it's kind of like been hard to focus, concentrate. I'd rather just be in the bed, sleep. I'm not sure if it's like, I don't think it's just perimenopause, because I think I've been going through that since probably last year, or honestly, a year before that. But I'm like, ugh. So yesterday, before I went to bed, I'm like, Kalai, you haven't been like, running. You haven't been going to the gym. And a lot of times that's one of the things that you do that, that you enjoy, that kind of makes you happier or lighter. So today I went out for a run, and to me it felt like I've been living here for about 4 years, since 2020, June 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah, about 4 years. Living over 4 years. And honestly, it's just been unusually humid. I'm not sure if it's like a monsoon type of season here right now, But honestly, I don't remember it being so humid last year. And I was running around this time, I think, last year and the year before, you know. So boy, I went on my run, most of it a walk. I'm like, dude, I had to like sit down a few times in the shade. I'm like, dude, and, you know, of course it's in the 70s, I believe. Yeah, it's in the 70s, but it's still hot. It's sunny out here. We are like, I'm like by the mountains, you know. I guess what you call it, not above the sea level or whatever. I guess that's what it's called. I think it's like over 13,000 feet or something. It's really high. So it seems like the sun be sunning. It's like the sun be sunning. I'm like, oh my freaking God. But yeah, I'm gonna try to come out with more content. Don't be surprised if I come out with something every day to talk about, because I'm trying to get my YouTube channel to grow and all that. As you can see, my hair is actually growing. I'm like, okay, now it seems like I guess it had to grow a certain length, and now it's starting to grow. Cause my hair is normally, if I don't cut it, and I cut my hair throughout the years. I even did the Rihanna when she was in her, what you call it, the under my umbrella phase, when she had the little straight hair, because I used to wear, you know, relaxers and had the little Rihanna haircut and all that type of stuff. So I had that. But anyways, this time around was my shortest haircut, and I cut it in, I guess what did I cut it, end of 2020. And I wanted to cut it really short, like a really short afro, so it can start growing, because it wasn't healthy at all. You know, I really didn't learn how to take care of my hair. I was basically going off of YouTube, and YouTube during that little golden age of natural hair on YouTube, it seemed like it was a lot of misinformation and things, and I'm trying to figure out, because I wore perms pretty much all my life, except one part of my life where I actually didn't wear a relaxer, and my hair was long. I'm like, man, I was in school one time in the auditorium for some type of pep rally or whatever, and some girl just, I was sitting down, and some girl behind me just yanked my hair. I'm like, what the world? I had to turn around, and I'm like, why did you pull my hair? She's like, oh, I just didn't know whether it was you know, weave or just your real hair. I'm like, this is my real hair, because it was really long, and I didn't wear no relaxer at that time. And I will show you some photos, because my mom tried to cut my hair. She didn't do it right. It was looking all crazy. She had to send me to this lady who was an older lady, and I think what they call it back, I'm not sure if they call it everywhere, but in the South they call it growing hands, where she had growing hands, because my hair was looking crazy, and, you know, probably damaged and all that type of stuff from relaxers. That woman she used some type of special grease. I don't know if she's still alive or not, because she was up in age, I think, when she first started doing my hair. But boy, like, I think it was once a month she would, you know, wash my hair, got that old school iron, straighten my hair. Boy, my hair was like white girl flow. When you, like, in your car, I guess, and you just got just imagine you have like a car, like a drop top, and your hair is just, and the white girls be like, that's how it was, you know, and it grew fast. So I'm trying to take care of my hair now. I'm supposed to have a appointment. I didn't go last month because I was sick, and this, hopefully next week I'll be able to go and try to get my hair trimmed. This will be the second time this year to get it trimmed. Try to get it trimmed probably like every 6 months, you know, something like that. And I probably, while it's still growing, I'll probably end up buying a good wig or whatever. So if anybody knows some online stores or brands that I can get like a really pretty wig or whatever, you know, hit your girl up, let me know. But yeah, but I would say during this time, I felt like these past couple of months, I felt like spirit, or universe, the divine, whatever you want to call it, I feel like I guess she kind of had to sit me down, I guess, because I feel like, as far as spirituality, I felt like I just been soaking up a lot of spiritual channels, and it's so funny though, because every time I have a thought, or I have a question, it seems like spirit just leads me to that answer. Because one of the things, I'm not knocking religion or anything like that, because I was in religion, but I always had questions. If you saw one of my earlier videos, I was like, I think I started going to church until like I was like 12 or something like that, my preteen. So I'm like, I wasn't really focused on nothing. I was like, we didn't go to church. The closest thing to religion at the time was Santa Claus and the Easter rabbit, all that type of stuff. And then honestly, when I started going to church, and I always had questions like, that don't make no sense. Why does it seem like something that seems traumatic seems to be something good? I'm like, dang. I'm like, am I being gaslit or something? Because it was like a lot of the stories in the Bible and things just. And honestly, when I was going to church at the time, it seemed like I wasn't really joyous. I was like either fearful, and it seemed like church made me fearful. And I guess I'm gonna say it's probably one of the reasons why that caused my anxiety. Because growing up, before church, I would say I was shy, but not really. I was more introverted, and yeah, I was more introverted, but I still attracted people to be my friends and things of that nature. So I still have friends. I still enjoyed, going outside and things like that. But I was more introverted. I'd rather been in my room reading a book or something, things of that nature. But hell, I still was a kid, so I still, rode bikes with friends or this and that. I always attracted people, as far as helping people. Like I was known, I guess 5th grade, when I was going to this white school or whatever, I was known as one of the smart kids in the white school. And I'm like, teachers ask, if I'm finishing my homework, they ask, can you want to help, other kids with their math and all that type of stuff? I'm like, sure. And then it seemed like afterwards, I've called this the dark ages of my life, when I started going to church. We moved to the hood. And it was like, I feel like that's where my anxiety started to happen, because I was plucked from an environment that felt safe and this and that and the other, and learning was encouraged, to an environment where I went to a church that seems very dogmatic, always talking about hell, fearful, that, this, that, and the other. And then go to a middle school, all the way up to high school, where gangs were bad, fights and stuff. And I'm like, I felt like I was a fish plucked out the water. So anyways, so from then on, I always had questions, because I'm like, nothing's really adding up. And I felt like, and I felt like once I became a spiritualist, I guess during my awakening, I don't have that fear at all. I don't have no fear of going to hell. I don't believe in hell or anything like that. And I don't have nothing against Christianity, because at the time I was a Christian, but I was like, I believe in a higher power. I don't know what that higher power is, but at the same time, I believe in a higher power. A lot of things, I feel like I can probably go more into it, but yeah. But anyways, I like, one of the questions I had was, man, because I noticed that as a spiritualist, it's more freedom, not freedom to just do all types of wrong or whatever, but you know, just you just have this freedom. It's like you'll remove from all the dogma of religion. And another thing is, as far as spirituality, some of the things you do or whatever, rituals or whatever, it's backed by science and math. And I'm a huge math person. Science, I understood some science. I took a lot of science courses when I was in college, which, you know, physics, chemistry, and all that type of stuff. When I was in college, that's a long story, but I'm like, it makes sense. And then I started listening to this one guy, what's his name, Billy Carson, and it's like whatever, it's like learning history. It's like things just lines up. Whereas with religion, I know Christianity because that's where I grew up on, you know, and it's like a lot of things were contradicting. It's like I feel like what I learned spiritually, it should align and flow with earth, and you know what I learned in science and things of that nature. But it seemed like with religion, it was always conflicting. It's like for example, like Adam gave, I guess in a sense, gave birth via a rib, and I'm like, okay, but why, if that's the case, why are women having birth? You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. I mean, that nothing like that ever happened to I'm gonna say a biological male. I ain't never seen a biological male give birth, but a biological female is the only ones give birth. We creating life on this earth, you know, and I mean all that's. I believe part of that is patriarchy. We don't want to make women look like they got power. And that's another thing. Women, it's like, it's a lot of times it's oppressed. It's like, I feel like women in church is more oppressed, you know. And I'm like, and then another thing I was afraid of, I'm like, dude, I didn't want to, I felt I had to learn who I am and things of that nature. Because I feel like started going to church. I mean, as a kid, you pretty much don't really know yourself like that, you know, and especially when you become a teenager. And then I kind of got plugged into a church environment, and it's like, dude, I barely know myself, but then I feel like I have to be molded into something that I'm not. I'm like, I'm not a robot, you know, things of that nature. And of course, at this time, I know myself. I totally love myself and loving myself, not in some narcissistic way, but when you think about narcissists, they don't really love themselves anyway. So I'm like, so I feel like these couple of months, I feel like the energy's been kind of heavy. Just to summarize, the energy's been kind of a little heavy. I just kind of been just not feeling very well. So, but today, you know, it's a new day. I finally started going. I finally went outside and start to run and walk, so I have to get myself back in shape, because homegirl is not in shape. I had to sit down a few times, and it was humid, so I'm having a harder time breathing. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna have to. And I actually feel a lot better, though, to be honest. I have a lot more energy and things of that nature. So I will, you know, keep you guys posted and things. And I'm just kind of telling you what's kind of going on right now in life and what have went on, you know. So I feel like I said, I had to sit down and just kind of, you know, I guess have my spiritual questions kind of answered and things of that nature. And I feel like I'm just learning a lot about spirituality. And I could go on and on and on and on and on and just on. And what's so funny, some of these things that I'm learning, like little rituals and things like that nature, like, for example, I'm just gonna tell you one. Because I don't like wasting like food. I don't like wasting water and things of that nature. And back in the days, even up to now, like if I'm drinking water, like a bottled water or something, and and it's probably warm and I want to drink the rest of it, I just kind of like, you know, I guess before throwing it, like pouring it out, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna pour it by a tree, you know, and then I just kind of give thanks or be grateful for this water that I have or have drunk, and now I'm gonna pour it into the, you know, ground where, you know, Mother Earth, and not knowing that that's in a sense a ritual, you know, to kind of give thanks for Earth to providing food and help provide shelter via the wood for homes and things of that nature. And I was doing stuff like that without really realizing that that's like a spiritual type of ritual, you know. And I did it all the time. And there's some other things that, you know, if I can't think of it right now, that I was like inherently doing. And to me, that tells me right there that it's meant for us to be spiritual versus just, and I feel like being spiritual is freedom. You know, you're not confined into changing your personality to all this dogma. And then when you really think about it, a lot of rules are set with women, and it's more oppressive when it comes to women than it does to men. And somebody mentioned, I forgot, I think the guy that I just mentioned, Billy Carson, because he like a historian, he's like a Renaissance man to me. He's like a scientist, historian, and all this other type of stuff. And he said, like, for example, like when you go to some countries where women are totally oppressed, it seems like the feminine energy is just like non-existent. So when you go to all these countries, it's like it's like a bachelor's domain, because you don't see any feminine type of, it's like the feminine energy just totally suppressed, you know. And it's a balance. Everybody has feminine and masculine energy, you know. It's like the yin and the yang. And I believe that, you know, it's both supposed to be here freely, not one supposed to be oppressed and one. I'm going to go deep into all that type of stuff, but I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to have a long video. It's just basically telling you that, hey, I'm alive, I'm well, and, you know, and I miss you guys. I did miss going on YouTube. I'm like, man, I miss going on YouTube. I tried to create more videos in the past, but I'm like, I was feeling sick, or I'm trying to edit, and for some reason it's not trying to edit the way I want. I'm just doing it the old school way right now. I'm just gonna go straight on YouTube and do the editing from there. So until I get all this figured out, I believe it's the fact that I need a new laptop or whatever, because that's a long story. But anyways, please, if you enjoyed this, please like, share it, all that, you know, and come back. I'm gonna try to have more videos, you know, throughout the week and things of that nature. So I will see you soon. Bye.